Hello, everybody. Whether you're finding this. Oh, I have another. Let me fix something here. Hello, everybody. As usual, I have the most professional broadcast in all of YouTube land. And that was a tab that was open as I was trying to figure out how to work some stuff. Obviously, failing miserably. Anyhow, welcome. And I need to double check the sound now because of that little snafu. Here I thought I was actually prepared for once. So let me do the ah sound thing. Make sure it's working right. It's working. There. Hopefully everybody can hear me clear enough out there. Hey Carrie. Hey Mara. Mare. Keep saying that wrong. But thank you for popping in. And what did Chili do this time? Well, I think he was attempting to be a journalist and failing miserably at it for many different reasons. And I'm going to be going over a little bit of those tonight. I guess since I have 1,000 subscribers that have poured in over the last couple of weeks, last week, I perhaps should give a little backstory. I really don't care about Chilito and his Chilito being Jose Maria DeCastro, a guy who likes to pretend he's a civil rights activist. And I really don't care about that crap. His crap. He can pretend to be an activist all he wants, get people to give him money, run around, make a fool of himself. Hey, that's fine by me. But it was once he started in on his anti-freedom of expression, free exchange of ideas activities that he got under my skin, and I felt like I had to talk about him. And lately, he's been referring to himself as a journalist. And everything he does and says, and every bit of behavior that he engages in, says that he is not a journalist, says that he is just a self-absorbed asshole who really doesn't know much of which he speaks. He's a jack of all trades, master of none. Well, I don't even know that he's a jack of any trade, frankly, other than his own ego. But what triggered me to go look at his most recent antics was I saw somebody make a comment, and I unfortunately I think it must have been in a side chat somewhere, that on his live stream this morning he was claiming to have been researching police killings, or as he calls them, police murders, since the mid 1990s, but that he didn't have any of his notes or research anymore, so he couldn't back up. He didn't have his discoveries. I have not. Well, I went and I started watching his stream and was looking for that particular quote, because that quote really irked me, because I haven't been a journalist for a very long time. I used to write movie reviews and feature articles and things like that. And I still have some notes that were made for articles and even for a book that I did. I still have those notes. Similarly, for creative projects I've worked on that were not based on some other company's property that I was hired to work on, or something that was licensed that I was hired to work on, projects that didn't go anywhere, just stray ideas. I have all those notes in files as well. I've moved multiple times between multiple states. And almost every writer and certainly every journalist I know, they keep notes on stories they've worked on and research they've done. And watching Chilito's stream, though, it occurred to me that I understand why he doesn't have any notes. And then I'm going to cover that a little bit tonight. Hopefully, it won't be too boring. Let me know if anyone in the side chat is too bored or wants to come up and put in their 2 cents worth. I will be happy to share the screen and the stage with people who want to come up and talk about this. I do know that Welsh News Network covered some of this earlier today, which actually I appreciated because I got so tired of his nonsense that I kind of gave up, and I was using the Welsh News Network as kind of background static, trying to recharge. And then I went, oh, wait, they're covering the same stuff I was trying to cover. And they got to some things that I didn't get to, and I'm glad that they did because it ended up being one of the sort of linchpins of tonight's little broadcast that I try to prepare. We'll see how prepared it is. And yeah, there's Welsh News Network. And let's see. Carrie says, I'm sure he thinks that cops involved in a fatal accident can just move on and that it doesn't affect them. But I know from seeing firsthand that he is wrong. No, he is. His image of police officers doesn't match a single one that I've known in my life, and I've known quite a few. But regardless, I mean, people have their opinions, but that's where we fall down with him claiming to be a journalist. He is not a journalist. He is all opinion. He has no facts. That is not a journalist. That is a columnist. And I've also been a columnist, so I know the difference. Even as a feature writer, I had to have facts in my articles. He has no facts. Case in point, his big stream that I will be showing clips from today was supposedly about opening up cold cases, quote unquote, murders, quote unquote, that cops has committed, and he's been studying these murders since the mid 1990s. And yep, there should be conspiracy music playing behind this. It's absolutely correct. Oh, and I did actually find that apparently I can play background music in this program. I just need to figure out how. And yep, Welsh News Network has the exact gist of it. Military vet, I can tell you that taking another's life does not ever leave you. And military training actually, well, having not been in the military myself, I tried during the Air Force, discovered I was colorblind, and I couldn't get in for a number of technical reasons. But as a military vet, I can tell you takes another life doesn't ever leave you. And they're more prepared for that sort of thing than police officers are. So it's not, no police officer gets in their car and goes out and says, I'm going to kill someone today. And that's another thing about Chilito's claim to being a journalist. He doesn't understand what words mean. He uses them, and he doesn't understand the meaning of the words he uses. And what's worse, he seems to consider tertiary sources, third generation sources. Englishing is hard. He considers secondary sources as primary sources, as case in point. He has been studying these cases since the mid-1990s, before there was Facebook, he claims. And then he pulls up a list of the murders that he has been investigating since the mid-1990s. A Wikipedia page. Wikipedia. It is a good place to start if you're doing research. As far as I could tell from Chilito's stream, his research begins and ends with the Wikipedia page. And in fact, he barely did any research on the Wikipedia page, as he himself kind of demonstrates, which the clips I will play will show. If I will click on the right things, they'll show it. So the very first page of his Wikipedia source actually states, here's what the introduction states. Below are a list of people killed by law enforcement in the United States, both on and off duty. Although Congress instructed the Attorney General in 1994 to compile and publish annual statistics on police use of excessive force. This was never carried out, and the Bureau of Federal Investigation does not collect the data. All right, and there's footnotes. They footnote things religiously on Wikipedia. So it's a list of law enforcements. The key sentence right above that, though, going at this, look backwards. This article contains dynamic lists that may never be able to satisfy particular standards of completeness. So it says right here at the top, these are not complete. It's a work in progress. And what's worse, let me scroll down. So the clips I'm using are from his stream, and he focused on pre-2009 police killings. And he went down, and you guys can't see this, and I was actually futzing around with figuring out a way to make these bigger and more easily legible. Someday I'll figure out how to do it. But he was going down this list of cases, and from his commentary, he seems to be of the impression that the little précis that are on these, for example, I'll just do in April 25, 2008, David Duncan Clark was killed in Washington State, and he was shot after brandishing what appeared to be a handgun. Police responding to disorderly conduct. The gun was found to be a toy. Okay, that's pretty terrible. Chilito announced in his live stream that the shorter these, if these are really short, they're lies. If they're really long, they're lies. If they're mid-length like this is 2 sentences, 3 sentences, then they're probably true. And they come apparently from the authorities. That's the implication that I got from some of his comments. If I misunderstood him, I apologize to the big man. I am not the most one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and I certainly have not been up and down this Wikipedia page many times as you claim you have been. But when I do go to Wikipedia pages like this, and if I am doing research like you claim that you do, I see these footnotes, like the example of David Duncan Clark. Footnote 24 for this particular article. Man dead after standoff in Bellingham. Okay. Then what I do, because I do research, I click on here, double click on it, or maybe not. There we go. And in this case, I came to a dead end because newspaper sites are constantly evolving, constantly moving. They're constantly changing the URLs. So then I would then have to go back to Google, and I would put in the name and the circumstances, and then would go from there. And the clips I'll be showing also shows that Chilito doesn't know how to do that properly, for that matter, either. So a journalist he is not. But with all that said, I am going to let the man speak for himself. And like I said, his entire stream, I've linked to it down below. So if I don't want anybody to take the word for anything I'm saying, you can go and you can watch. You can go to his channel. I've got a link down below too. I've got the stream from which all this stuff is taken. You can see here my clips. Cases that need reopen, which he continually refers to as cold cases in the stream, which you'll see as well. But so actually, here, let me get some definitions out of the way. Murder does not mean what Chilito thinks it means. The word murder has very specific meaning, and he doesn't know what that meaning is. A cold case is a very specific thing when you're investigating, and he does not know what that is. I don't think he knows what a dungeon is, since he keeps referring to it. But in this case, it's the murder and the cold case. Those two phrases, he uses them over and over, and he doesn't know what the words mean. And that is one reason why I'm doing this. Not making light of these deaths, but looking at the population compared to the deaths, it's not a huge amount. No deaths are good, but just playing devil's advocate. That's absolutely true. And some of these uh, police deaths are accidents. I mean, they are just straight up 100% accidents, which Chilito defines as murder, one of the clips that I play. And any reasonable person would be able to look at it, and he would, if he clicked on the footnote, would have probably seen the same thing. Mayor, I know what Jackie is. He watches cop videos, or after he's had, yeah. Well, here, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He heads for the bathroom. I get it now. Another thing that he gets factually completely wrong in this stream, which I believe Welsh News Network talked about as well. Chilito seems to think that prior to 2000, there were no such things as dash cams, and that it was in the 2010s, even, I think, maybe, that he had the impression that they came into the fore, which, again, is absolute nonsense. But let's hear from him himself, shall we?
The cops have murdered so many people, you have no idea. And I'm going to show you that list today. There's a full list I'm going to show you today of cops who murdered people that got away with it, that I know they were murdered because I investigated their death long before there was, everybody was, even before there was Facebook. The cops have murdered so many people.
And of course, I spoiled that by I should have just played that right up front. That actually was in my head, my original plan, and that's what you get for not rehearsing. But which I probably should start doing a little more of, or have a little outline of what clips to play and when I should talk and when I should play clips. But let me just do that again, because he said a very key phrase, a key phrase there.
People, you have no idea. And I'm going to show you that list today. There's a full list I'm going to show you today of cops who murdered people that got away with it, that I know they were murdered because I investigated their death long before there was, everybody was, even before there was Facebook. And the cops have.
So some of these on that Wikipedia page, as I said, some of those are that the cops have murdered people and got away with it, are traffic accidents. Yes, the cop in question of the specific case that will be touched on was found negligent, but it was still an accident. He didn't go out thinking, I'm going to run that 10-year-old down with my car. Yes. No. So it was not murder, Chilito. Not in the legal definition, not in the world, not in any definition, except maybe yours, because you don't know what the hell the word means. Yeah, there should be a. Oh, I know. Sorry, I am still mastering YouTubing, and I just had a thought that will make this a lot simpler. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So he has this whole list of cop murder cases that he's investigated. And he says a couple of times during his stream that he has been up and down this list many times. Okay. So he's up and down this list many times, and he talks about, and they're all, the all list of cops that got away with murder. So then there's this guy. I don't know if I can make it big enough for you guys to see. I probably can't, but it struck me. He had been, so completely outraged every single instance here. Like he had just right before that, he was talking about someone threatening another guy with a bat, and the officer dropped his weapon on the ground, pulled his back up, and shot Carrizales, who was attacking the cop with a bat. But let's see if actually I got the verbiage. Okay, so Chilito's been up and down this list of murder from 2008. All of these, he's studied them. He crack investigator. So unfortunately, you can't probably see it, but as he hits this part of this very familiar list to him, his cursor.
Jesse Miller, 2008.
and he stops. Why does he stop talking? I'll tell you why he stops talking. Because Jesse Miller had his car break down and fatally shot a man who had apparently come to his help. As a police officer arrived at the scene, Miller opened fire on the officer, missing him, and was then shot by the officer. Miller was the son of Fraser Glenn Cross, the neo-Nazi perpetrator of the Overland Park Jewish community shooting. So where is the outrage, Chilito? Poor Jesse Miller got gunned down by this cop. Why did you stop reading? Why did you stop talking? You have gone down this list many, many times, right? You must have also clicked on this footnote here to see where it goes, right? Right? I mean, you're a journalist. You're expected to be taken seriously as a game changer. So why did you stop reading when you noticed, oh, yeah, I really don't want to talk about this guy getting, quote, murdered by the cops? Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm, a bit more kind of grumpy than usual, but this whole thing just irritates the bejesus out of me. But thanks for stopping by, Carrie. I appreciate it. And I'm, try not to lose myself in my outrage here, so I keep an eye on the chat. Okay, yeah, that plan that I had did not work, so we'll just have to be clunky about this. So yeah, where was the outrage about poor Jesse Miller? Especially from a guy that's been up and down this list and has studied it. Why do you just not pass over Jesse Miller? Why even mention his name if he was going to ignore that guy? But here is Chili. Oh, and by the way, Dan, I really loved the Chili is a journalism. You guys had me laughing at that. So
Lumpkin struggled for the officer's gun. Who believes this? What a load of shit. Lumpkin was being pursued by Miami-Dade Police Department because of him being suspected for shoplifting. Lumpkin struggled for the officer's gun and was shot. What a lie. You are lying. You lying pigs. You are lying. You are lying. There was no struggle over your gun. You murdered him. What does the citation say?
What does the citation say, Chilito?
Ugh.
Oh, we never find out what the citation says. Gosh, what a serious journalist here. I understand he's mentioned that part of what he was doing here was showing people how they could do research, but why do you go on like that and you say stuff that you have no idea about, which we just kind of demonstrated by you didn't realize who Jesse Miller was until you were starting to read the paragraph. And this guy that you were getting all outraged about.
Jesse Miller, 2008.
Oh, let's close that. That's the wrong one.
Lumpkin struggled for the officer's gun. Who believed?
Yeah, so Mr. Lumpkin here. How do you know that isn't accurate? You haven't gone to the citation. I mean, there's no reason to think that you have. You're just shooting your mouth off. And I am going to try to find Lumpkin here just to do your job for you, Chilito. Okay, there's Suko. That means Lumpkin is right here somewhere, I think. Oh, hey, Kelly. Welcome. I'm just being outraged at the stupid. And so there's Jesse Miller. There's Lumpkin, Joseph Lumpkin. Lumpkin was being pursued by Miami-Dade Police Department because of him being suspected of shoplifting. Lumpkin struggled for an officer's gun and was shot. So here's the footnote that Chilito went ugh to, and without really looking at it. So somebody named Walt Lockley. This is the source for that. Let's see what we have. Go to the source. See? All right. Again, the site has changed. But just in case, since I know Chilito is a fan, he's written me fan mail, so maybe he'll come by someday and look. So maybe I'll show him. This is the most fundamental research, Chilito. You go to Google. See, Google. You see that? Yep. You type that right into your browser. Then Joseph Lumpkin. Police shooting. I mean, you show that you kind of sort of have an idea about this at one point during the stream, but you're very bad at it. You, as a journalist, you should be better at doing research, Chilito, and especially one of the clips I have where you guys will see if you haven't seen already. Wayback Machine, what the hell? Okay. Did I do something wrong there? Well, let's see. It's giving me Wayback Machine giving me a Google search. I don't even know how the hell I ended up in the Wayback Machine here. Okay, so you know how when you are complaining about someone using bad grammar or they can't spell, then of course you're going to misspell as you're doing that, because I'm obviously showing that I don't know how to do and yeah, the cat is telling me too that I'm being stupid. Joseph Lumpkin, there's an author named Joseph Lumpkin. That's probably not the same one though, since this one is supposedly dead. Miami Dade. Let's see. All right, so I can't find more detail on this. So that was a very bad example that I used there. That's also why you shouldn't do these sorts of things cold. Don't be me if you're going to try to do a critical stream. But speaking of research, let's look at some research, or let's look at Chilito's opinion on sources and doing research.
It's unbelievable what you see when you actually look into it. If you just do, and how much research do we do? I do real research where I go back into historical archives. This was this much research. We didn't even look. We barely even scratched the surface. And in 2 hours, it's unbelievable what you see when you actually look into it. If you just do, and how much research do we do? I do real research where I go back into historical archives. This was this much research. We didn't even look. We didn't look.
Stop. So that's toward the end of the stream there, and I'm putting out a sequence because I want to set up this.
We know that. It says here in Wikipedia, the horrible source, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, and my side has decided that that information source is not reliable. You don't do any research, bro. You don't actually have any sort of research in you, because Wikipedia is unreliable. Really? Okay. Sure thing. We know that. It says here in Wikipedia.
So, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have the impression that in his mindset, those little paragraphs on the page that I was struggling to get to cooperate, this is a primary source. Did I misunderstand? Yes, Kelly, you are absolutely correct. I wanted to educate you all. That's exactly it. I'm a game changer, and I'm here to change games by showing you how not to do them. And Tanya, you're very welcome. Um, there's some fun videos over there, so yeah, you betcha. More than happy. So anyhow, Wikipedia primary source in the universe of the scholar that is Mr. DeCastro. Again, please correct me if I'm I'll play his words one more time, and you guys tell me whether I'm misrepresenting them or not. I don't believe that I am, though. I mean, he's being sarcastic. He's putting down people who and I guess I agree with him too. If you're gonna be an ultra partisan, that's bad. But well, I guess he only thinks the only person with that is right is him. But here he is.
That it says here in Wikipedia, the horrible source. I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, and my side has decided that that information source is not reliable. You don't do any research, bro. You don't actually have any sort of research in you because Wikipedia is unreliable. Really? Okay, sure thing.
Again, remember this: you don't have any research in you. You don't do any research. I've been up and down this list over and over. I've studied these cases. That statement gets very, very funny when I play these next couple of clips. Again, I'm not laughing at the people that have died and have lost their careers and people's misery, but that this numbskull thinks that he has researched it, that he understands, and he doesn't even know. Again, words mean things. The word murder means something. Well, yeah, could be research for Chile to figure out who to grift next. And oh, wait until he sees the Wikipedia page I'm making on him. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page? That's kind of surprising. I figured he would have set one up for himself by now. Um, Given how important Wikipedia is. Oh, what's this now? Oh. So that was, I should check my phone during streams, but that was Facebook reminding me that I have a live stream coming up at 11:45, which is half an hour ago. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold. Well, anyhow. So yes, please remember, do you even research, bro? You have no research in you. Remember that bit of nonsense, because one of the parts that I zeroed in on in this stream, and there's probably other examples of this, but this one really popped out at me. And I hit it after I got sick of him and I started skipping around. Was the case of a series of cops that were involved in it. Let's look up the case. Basically, a guy suffered that had drugs and booze in his system, suffered a head injury as he was being detained or arrested, and ultimately died in police custody. The by everything I could see from actually Chilito's own research, the officers were held accountable for it. Only one got dismissed. The other three, if I understood it correctly, were suspended and ultimately got their jobs back. The one who was dismissed was the head of the ranking officer on scene. And let's see if I can find that. Well, let me put Chilito on. He can probably help me locate it. So this is a clip after he'd presented the case, talked about it a bit, and here he is talking about the one officer that was held completely and fully accountable, except he was not prosecuted. A grand jury, which is something else Chilito doesn't seem to comprehend, the role a grand jury plays in the American justice system. Grand jury apparently chose not to prosecute, and Chilito is reading about this. You know, he's looked at this case many times supposedly, and what did he have to say?
Charles Thurman, your time has come. You piece of shit. I'm coming after you, Thurman. I'm coming after you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you put in prison, you cocksucker. You're going to prison. You're going to prison, you son of a bitch. You are going to prison. Charles?
Yeah, Chilito is going to put Charles Thurmond in prison. Charles Thurmond was the assistant police chief in, let's see, and yeah, I'm trying to read the screen here. Sylvester. Let's see. Yes, Sylvester was a town. I believe it was in Georgia. Trying to read here. Da, 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 da. So anyhow, just Assistant Police Chief Charles Thurmond was the ranking officer on scene. He was the only one that was terminated, and he's the one that that Chilito wants to nail to the wall because he's been studying this since the 90s and he knows these things. Oh, way to ruin the punchline, Kelly. Way to ruin it. Jeez. You're banned. Because here's Chili. Chili's going to find out where Thurmond is, and he's going to nail him to the wall with his super internalized research skills. Here we go. Here's Chilito researching. Can't find it, he says.
Can't find it.
So let's try another search, Chilito. Let's see. His first search here was Charles Thurman sues Georgia City for job. Yes, because Charles Thurman, after being dismissed, he sued the city because he says he was the only one dismissed because of his race. And I think perhaps this comes as another surprise to Chilito, which will be shown in a clip here in a second. And yeah, you people are, if you've already seen it, geez, ruin it. So let's see. Now he tries to put in Charles Thurman, chief, retires, charged with crime. Let's see, what does he get back? Oh, well, here's actually a very key little thing here. Well, there is a Charles Thurmond obituary, which is not that Charles Thurmond. All right, but so, does he die? No, maybe you people are just lying out there. Ruin my big reveal. Jeez. Let's see. Yeah, here's a Charles Thurman that stabbed his wife. No, different guy. Okay. So, yeah. The expert journalist is having some trouble. You know, understandable. I had it too. Especially when he does things like Charles Thurmond, Georgia spelled Goegia. That probably doesn't help. That's not how I spell Georgia, is it? Well, maybe it is. Maybe I'm being stupid right now. I've had a long day. Wait, here we go. What's this right here? Charles R. Thurmond, obituary in Sylvester at Ship's funeral. Retired assistant police chief, police department. Well, this is the guy. This is right here. It's like hit number 2 after Charles Thurmond, Goegia cop. So result, actually it's the top result. Good job, Chilito. Except,
Fuck.
so was that fuck because he thinks he can't find it? Or was it a fuck because he actually read that and realized that he is full of shit? Hey, I did not try to steal your story. In fact, I put my announcement of this stream up before you went live with your Super Bowl broadcast. Yeah. My lawyers will talk to your lawyers. So there. And we'll copyright strike each other. Yep. So what did that fuck mean that he just uttered there? Well, let's find out with as we continue with our. He keeps researching.
I don't think it's him. Sorry for the language. I don't think that. So I'll show you what I got. It's not the same cop. It's not the same cop. I want to know if this cop is alive. I want to know. I want to know if this pig is alive and if we can get him. I want to get him. I want to get this pig.
Oh, but you'd been up and down that list many times. You'd studied it. Are you saying that Wikipedia is not a primary source, and to know what you actually are reading, you've got to go look at the footnotes and then click on the links that can take you to primary sources? Or, I don't know, Google this stuff before you go on there and start babbling about how I'm going to get you, little piggy. This gets even more hilarious, though, as time goes on, and then it stops being funny when Chilito behaves like Chilito. And that's another reason why I decided to do this, because it also shows not only is he just so full of himself and doesn't understand the meaning of the word journalist, doesn't understand the meaning of the word columnist or the difference between the two, doesn't understand the meaning of the word murder, doesn't understand the meaning of the word cold case. He also doesn't understand just how to be a decent person, which this will show right here.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Yes, Chilito, let's do it.
Let's do this.
He's now verifying that this is indeed the guy.
That son of a bitch died. That son of a bitch died. That piece of shit. Burn in hell. I hope he burns in hell for eternity.
Yeah. This is, he wished cancer on people's children. He liked to pretend that he could send that he would send Colombian hitmen after people he disagreed with or people who dared to criticize him. What else? Well, there's a long list of things, but this is hilarious. That after him going on about, I have studied these cases, I do research, Wikipedia is a reliable source, I know these cases. What? What do you mean he died in 2001, October 2001? What? What an idiot.
Charles R. Thurmond, retired assistant chief.
Ah, wow. It is him. Oh my God.
How'd he die?
No.
How'd he die? So he was fired in 2004, but how'd he die? How did he die? How did he die? I want to know how he died. I'll bet he killed himself. Let's do.
Okay. You heard that last bit? I bet he killed himself. Well, yeah. I mean, if you knew these cases, Chilito, and if you were a journalist, you could tell us how he died. He's a villain of your story, right? Or are you creating your story right here in front of everybody and making yourself look like an ass? I think so. And speaking of looking like an ass and a total hypocrite, we have the next part of the Thurmond investigation, which is the last clip that well, at least in this section of the thing. And we should run a fundraiser for Chili for a shovel so we can get, yes, that actually is that's a brilliant idea. I will have to look into seeing if we can find a way to do that. So one last thing about Thurmond and Chilito. So right here, this is why Thurmond was suing the city for racism. Thurmond was a black guy. The other 3 cops were white guys. Chilito likes to go on and on and on about racists and how the police force was born out of slavery and how they're all racist. They're all out to get the black and the brown people and evil racists. Oh, and he does this a lot too. But and yet he was strangely silent when this guy's face came up at his obituary at the funeral home, on the funeral home's website. Why was he so silent on this guy's appearance? And I don't know. Everybody wants to put in money for the shovel so we can go arrest Thurmond. But let's see what else he has to say here as he goes over the obituary, which actually does not give a cause of death, which shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody. But it is to the master journalist. Oh, wait. Too bad. Poor Chilito. And we did put the brakes on this shovel fundraiser because at the request of the family, the remains will be cremated at a later date. So they had the service, probably may or may not have had a viewing, and then he was cremated, and probably is interred at Ship's funeral home, I would imagine. So alas, poor Chilito. Even if we were to help him dig the guy up, he wouldn't be able to arrest him. This is like Shakespearean. This is Shakespeare level tragedy here. Speaking of which, let's see what Chilito has to say when he flips over the obituary.
Ship's funeral home may be viewed from the Ship's funeral home. Charles Rufus Thurmond, the son of the late Sidney. Charles' record of community service is well documented. He's a murdering pig who I hope is burning in hell.
He doesn't know jack shit about what's going on or what this guy did or didn't do. He has no right to say that sort of thing about him.
As he received numerous awards for his long, continuous work in various communities outside the state of Georgia.
And let's just correct the master journalist in his reading here. Charles's record of community service is well documented, and he received numerous awards for his long-standing and continuous work in various communities throughout the state of Georgia. Not outside the state of Georgia. You moron.
Do you think he was a good dude?
I don't know, Chilito. I don't know enough about him. I haven't done the research. And I sincerely doubt that you've done the research, given your surprise or apparent surprise in the fact that he was dead since October 30th, 2021. So I don't know. You're the journalist. You tell me. Was he a good dude?
I'd like to contact his children and his grandchildren. That's what I'd like to do. I might just do that.
Oh.
See these folks down
Research.
here?
Okay.
I think I'm going to contact them. I'm going to contact these people and let them know that he was a murderous piece of shit. And they...
Okay, Chilito, I guess I gave you too much credit there. Not research. But what was that again?
Piece of shit. And they come from murder stuff. Shit. And they contact these people and let them know that he was a murderous piece of shit. And they come from murder stock. All these folks here, right here, they come from murder stock.
Okay. Who is the pathetic little pissant who whines and cries and complains about people contacting his mommy and his sugar daddy and his friends and his dog? Who is that? Oh, that's right. It's the most powerful journalist in the universe. So here he is talking about contacting these people, family members of Charles Thurmond, which I'm going to assume this lady right here, Dr. Vera Thurmond, is a lot more accomplished than Chilito will ever be in his life. I guess she's one of his siblings. So yeah, not only is he a hypocrite, who is, I don't know if he's illiterate, but he sure as hell doesn't understand the meaning of the word murder, cold case, human decency, doesn't understand that either. Yeah, so Chilito is a hypocrite. Yeah, I know, I ruined it, but IR journalism. I try to be accurate. Because yeah, he clearly didn't really bother reading what it said there. Probably my guess, other than him fantasizing about harassing completely 100% innocent people. Such a little fucking piece of shit. And don't excuse my language, because that is what he is. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. And this one also kind of stuck in my craw because this is the one I was referring to earlier.
Senior Corporal Michael Van hit Cole Bernard with his squad car. That's it? That's the whole thing? That's the whole thing? Bullshit. 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 10 years old. Kid was 10 years old.
So, Wikipedia page, long list of things. And the kid named, not Bernard, like Chilito can't apparently read, but Bernardi, Cole Bernardi, was 10 years old when Corporal Michael Vaughn hit him with his squad car. And I think you all heard.
Senior Corporal Michael Van hit Cole Bernard with his squad car.
Bernardi.
That's it?
Mr. Journalist,
That's
Bernardi.
The whole thing? That's the whole thing?
That's it? That's the whole thing? That's the whole thing?
Bullshit. 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 10 years old. Kid was 10 years old.
Yeah, that is bullshit, Chilito. Because this is not the full story. This is just a précis. This is where a scholar who has research within them would go here. And I did actually check on, well, let's see if I can find it. Well, I'm not going to waste everybody's time with me trying to find things on this list that I thought actually I had. Oh, let's try this actually. Oh, I can't from this page, which is weird. Well, anyhow, that particular case, the kid, does this case actually I did read up on because I was curious. Because to me it just screamed accident. Just from that précis, I went, this was a tragic accident. The story is the full story. If master journalist Jose Maria Chilito DeCastro had gone and looked at it, he would have realized, he would have known, no, that's not it. The kid wanted to go visit a friend or family friend that was at working at a nearby store. It was 8 o'clock at night. It was in the fall. It was dark. Mommy, can I go to the store? Can I take my bike to the store? Mother says, no, you may not take the bike to the store. The kid being a kid, and I've done this. My sisters probably did it. You guys probably did this when you were kids. Mom says no, you say, well, I'm going anyway. She'll not find out because she's watching TV or whatever. So he got on his bike, headed out. Meanwhile, the corporal is going, I think it said 79 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone or something like that, heading toward, I don't know, a call. I didn't get in that much detail, but he was speeding. He was speeding in his patrol car without lights, without the emergency lights or running lights or sirens or anything. And he hit this kid on the bike. And the kid died. It was an accident. It was not murder. It was an accident. But the cop was, and again, contrary to Chilito's thing, the cop was held liable for this accident. I think he was, if I'm remembering correctly, he did lose his job. And Paul, or maybe he didn't, but I forget exactly in that detail. But there was some consequences, and agency policies changed because of this incident. But that little sentence is not the full story. There were many circumstances that led to that happening. It wasn't just cop gets in his car and says, "I'm gonna go run over that kid today." Ah, ha, 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 ha. See, that would have been murder. See, look up the meaning of murder if you ever see this, Chilito. That would have been murder. What happened to that kid was tragic for everybody involved. No, no 10-year-old should ever die. But it wasn't murder. And yeah, the one sentence on the Wikipedia list of people killed by cops is also not. It's not everything. And if you weren't such a moron, you would know, and you would have clicked on the footnote and have read up on the piece, and you probably would have not. You probably would have skipped that, just like you skipped the neo-Nazi that you. What is it, Jesse Miller? And, oh well, I don't want to get outraged about that guy. That would look even worse than. It could have been. I was reading up on it, then I ran out of time, and now, of course, I can't find it here. Because unlike the 20-year constitutional law scholar and an investigator, crime scene investigator, I have not been up and down this list many times. So I do not have it memorized. Oh, up, there he is, in Dallas, Texas. Hit him with a squad car. Let's actually take a look. See if we can work our way to see what happened to the guy. I don't think so, because this is just about how there was a settlement. But let's look up Senior Corporal Michael Vaughn. Just Yeah, because now you got me wondering. But again, see, here's more. And oh, here's something. Here's a real journalist. Late last week, word came down that the Dallas City Council was close to settling with the family of Cole. Oh, Berardi. I got the name wrong too. But I was closer. This was Bernard, according to Mr. Chilito. But Berardi was the kid's name. Killed 1 year ago after he was struck by a Dallas police car. Let's see. I went digging on this. That's how I had I had the how fast the car was going and things like that. And then I ran out of time. So let's see if I can pick up where I left off. Okay, so right here, he was handed a one. If this is the same thing, yeah, this is the same thing. He was given a 1 day suspension. And one of these articles is what gave me the speed. Well, right here, just so to not waste everybody's time. He came around a sharp curve going 69 miles an hour, and that's when he hit the kid. And his own dash cam actually showed it. His dash cam showed what happened. So, but I don't know whether he committed suicide or not. Right. Yeah, it was captured by dash cam. That's what one of these, and I think one of these probably even has a dash cam as part of it. Or it used to be there and probably isn't. Yeah, it's not there anymore. Oh, wait. Anyhow, yes. So once again, the super-necessary journalist couldn't even be bothered to do basic checking. All he would have to do actually was put in the um, the basic circumstances and scroll down and look at the first paragraphs in the Google hits, and he would have gotten a better picture than his bullshit. Is there more to the story? Well, yeah, there is, but you didn't bother even doing the most half-assed investigation like I just did. And yeah, I hope that no one is put off by me being grumpy and outraged, but I'm just so annoyed at this whole display. I have one more clip, and actually, I can't remember what this clip is, so I guess we'll find out together. It's 19 seconds long.
An off-duty ATF agent shot Sitow during a disturbance at an apartment. The agent was charged with murder, but the charge was dropped because the prosecutors failed to prove Suko was the one who died. That doesn't make any sense. So this is bullshit here. An off-duty ATF.
Okay, so master journalist, most powerful force in the universe, game changer, smarter than anybody else that is currently walking the earth. I heard him read that paragraph. Let's hear it again.
Agent shot Sitow during a disturbance at an apartment. The agent was charged with murder, but the charge was dropped because the prosecutors failed to prove Suko was the one who died. That doesn't make any sense. So this is bullshit here.
Okay. Chilito is absolutely right. It makes no sense. Now, a person with, I think, an active brain with an interest in these kind of subjects wouldn't just go, this is bullshit. No, they'd go to, is there a footnote? Did I close my Wikipedia window? I do believe I did. Yep. Anyhow, so I am actually intrigued by this. And I'm not a super necessary legal scholar. I am not a 20-year crime scene investigator or murder investigator, whatever. And this whole thing intrigued me. The prosecutors it couldn't be proven that it was Sucro who died? What? That's worth looking into. I mean, just to say that's bullshit. No, that's not a journalist, Chilito, you dumbass. Even if what your purpose was here today was just to show people, hey, go to this Wikipedia page. There's all these unsolved cop murders that are mostly solved. They're all solved, but I'm going to call them cold cases. And you can do research and you can get them reopened and we can get these dirty piggies brought to justice. Even if that was your purpose, Chilito, that paragraph right there, that is not, well, that makes no sense. It's bullshit. That makes no sense. That's worth looking into later. And then you move on to the next thing. You're dumb. There's no really other way to put it. And that's probably one of the clearest displays of the fact that you're dumb is that was your reaction to that paragraph. That's a fascinating paragraph, you idiot. That's a case that actually would be fun to look into if you were, any stripe of journalist or had any like smidgen of curiosity in your sad little body. And yeah, I guess that is, that kind of went way over the top there. And so yeah, sorry about that, guys. But out of all the stuff that he talked about in his stream, that one little bit, well, aside from the not knowing the meaning of murder and cold case, the definitions or the purposes of those words, that little bit right there, I should have titled it better. I didn't realize I'd actually captured it because it made me so when he first said it that I'm gonna find that Wikipedia page again now because cop killings, because I wonder if there's a footnote to that. Well, here we go. Wikipedia police killings. Thank you, Google, for remembering searches. Well, anyhow, I am that's kind of, there's really no good end to this stream, like always. Well, I guess I'll do this in case somebody wants to, if I've been off base on anything I've said, or if somebody just wants to come up and drive home my points or correct me on something that I was being unfair. Because Lord knows I don't want to be unfair to the game changer. No, never. He might send Columbia hitmen after me. Or he might sue me. Okay. Wait, all right, so not sign up, not. All right, let me find it. If there is something here. Sucro, where is Sucro? There he is, Marcus Sucro. It happened in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, I should specify that, on St. Thomas specifically. An off-duty ATF agent shot Sucro, not Sucro, shot Sucro during a disturbance at an apartment. The agent was charged with murder, but the charges were dropped because prosecutors failed to prove that it was Sucro who died. Then there's footnote 11. Murder case against ATF agent dismissed. Let's see if we have anything here. Okay. From CNN. They had a show called Reliable Sources once, so this has got to be accurate, right? A judge dismissed a murder case Thursday against U.S. ATF and explosive firearms agent in the Virgin Islands. We are pleased with the judgment of acquittal on all counts, said Special Agent Will Clark. Oh no, Will Clark is the agent who did the shooting. Scott Thomason is the spokesman for the Bureau. Clark was charged with second-degree murder after intervening in a domestic confrontation between two of his neighbors, Marcus Suko and Margie Duncan. Okay, so domestic dispute. This guy tries to break it up. Let's see. Duncan was trying to flee and called for help. When Clark responded, so Clark tried to respond to this lady that was crying for help. And hey, Dan.
Hey, Steve.
Let's see here if we can do that, and we can do this. So let me finish reading this because, yeah, Duncan was trying to flee and crying for help. So Clark responded. Suko began swinging the flashlight at the agent's head. Clark drew his service weapon and fired, hitting the man 5 times in the chest. Okay, Suko died of his injuries. A federal government multi-agency investigation in 2008 unanimously concluded the shooting was justified. Local prosecutors said that Clark, who was authorized to carry the gun and use reasonable force to protect himself and others, used too much force and was not authorized to enforce the law in the Virgin Islands. I have to admit, my mind popped a little bit in the direction of too much force when he shot the guy 5 times. But he's swinging self-defense. I'm also saying here, self-defense of him and of Miss Duncan, defending her too. It seemed like. Clark, who had not been working in investigation since the charges, so he was suspended and charged with murder, second-degree murder. But he'll return to full duty. So yeah, Chilito would think this was another cover-up, clearly. Then they just go on explaining what the Virgin Islands are and the structure of the United States. I'm so curious about this. They couldn't prove that it was Suko who got killed. That's the part that, to me, makes no sense. Senior sitting Superior Court Judge Edgar J. Ross dismissed the case on a motion filed by the defense, saying that the government prosecutors had failed to prove that Suko was the person who died. So this was just sounded like a technicality. It was truly a first or second year prosecutor screw up, a source close to the case said. The judge did exactly what the law required, which is really all he can do, and all he should do, actually. The government cannot appeal the ruling, the source said. Then we got the prosecutor's office. We respectfully disagree with the judge's ruling. We believe the court record will reflect that the people showed a distinct and indisputable connection between the body autopsied by Dr. Landron and the man who was shot and killed by William Clark. Well, yeah, the judge apparently disagreed, and some paperwork must have been done wrong. Clark's attorney, Mr. Shamel, disagreed. Frazier said Ross excluded several pertinent documents from evidence, a ruling. So the judge excluded some documents, ruling that would characterize an unprecedented on this issue. He added that the case should have been decided by a jury of Virgin Island residents, not by a single judge. Well, yeah. So yeah, it sounded like technicality is, but quote from the defense attorney again: Will Clark got up to go to the gym, and Marcus Sukow and Margie Duncan dragged him into a nightmare that has finally ended today. It enraged federal authorities. Anyhow, the answer is that it was a technicality.
But how can you read that on Wikipedia and not want to know the story?
Yeah, that's the part that got me. Here we go. I should have done this a while back, but yeah, put one in the chat if you weren't curious to figure out what happened with and why Suko was couldn't be proven to be the guy that got shot. Because I'm with
I
you,
swear,
Dan.
if you'd have ended that stream back where you were thinking of before telling us this bit, I was going to hunt you down and kill you. Because the story's fascinating. It's like, no, you can't. It's
Yeah.
almost, it would have been as annoying, when series will leave a cliffhanger and you're like, well, that's it. You hate them for this.
Oh yeah, I'm still bitter about. I'm one of 3 people that watched a series called Alcatraz on Fox a while back. Only lasted 1 season, ended on a cliffhanger, and yeah, I wanted to hunt down some Fox executives and do rude things to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see people that are responding. They agree. This was a. But yeah, okay, here we go. The incident occurred on the morning of September 7, 2008. Clark was leaving his condo when he encountered Suko and his girlfriend. They had been drinking and they were having a quote disagreement, unquote. Duncan asked Clark for a ride to the guard gate and got in Clark's sports utility vehicle. Okay, so the lady was trying to escape from the guy. Suko approached Clark, who was sitting in the car. One witness said that Suko was striking the driver's side door with a flashlight, and he saw Clark draw his weapon and tell Suko to step back. Mr. Suko stood there with his hands at his side. Well, Mr. Suko stood there with his hands at his side when William Clark discharged his firearm at him several times. Okay, well that explains the murder too, that they were charging him with. Local prosecutors were evidently heavily influenced by 2 facts. First, the deceased, Marcus Suko, was armed only with a flashlight. Second, Clark shot him 5 times. Yeah, it was the 5 shots that kind of made my mind say, it might be a bit over the top. But then again, I have been fortunate in my life to never have been in this situation. I have had flashlights swung at my head and barely, no, not crowbar swung at my head and barely missed, but uh, the person with the crowbar and me both ran in opposite directions because I think we surprised each other to some extent. But if I'd had a gun, I don't know that I would have. I don't know. I've never, like I said, I've been fortunate. I've never been in that situation. But and this is now they come to this next part here. Shamel said that the local police department's affidavit is inaccurate and its investigation is grossly incompetent. The attorney said that Suko weighed 260 pounds, had a history of violent assaults, and was acting violently at the time of the incident. Yeah. Yeah, see, when Clark first encountered the fighting couple, Suko was naked, intoxicated, and shouting threats at his girlfriend and racial slurs at a neighbor who had come out during the commotion. At one point, Suko went into his condo, returned wearing gym shorts, and then pelted the girlfriend's car with landscaping stones. So there's always more to these stories. If you keep reading, after Duncan sought refuge in Clark's car, Suko charged the driver operator door with a flashlight. Heavy duty 18-inch metal one. Yeah, I had one of those back in a former life when I worked some security jobs, and yeah, those things are. Yeah, hit somebody with those over the head, and they're not going to get up. And I had it raised like a tomahawk, poised to strike Clark. And then he fired rapidly as he was trained. And tests later show that Sukao had a blood alcohol content of 0.29% and had barbiturates and morphine in his blood.
Probably took 5 shots to put him down.
Yeah, he probably didn't stop. So once you go and click on the footnote and then click on the article at the footnote, it's no longer bullshit, and you get the story. That's why you don't treat Wikipedia as a primary source. And even this, this is a version of the story. But it's closer to journalism than I think anything I've ever seen Mr. DeCastro do.
Quite a long shot.
Yeah. Well, hell, even what we just did here, reading the article is closer to journalism.
Yep.
We showed some curiosity and we looked into it. What does this say? I hate it when that happens. You get caught fighting naked in the street, or you get shot 5 times in the chest.
It's Kerry. It could be either.
But anyhow, this is one of those actually pretty rare things where I just had to get something off my chest. And yeah, actually, I guess I wasn't surprised when I saw you guys covering the same thing, because it was
How
pretty
could you
damn
not?
stupid. Exactly. But this is really the earliest opportunity I would have to do it. But yeah, I mean, but what prompted me to look into it was obviously either misinterpretation on my part, because there was never any claim that he had research notes that he no longer had. Maybe somebody was just saying that would be an excuse if he was going to make one. Oh, very funny. She meant the TV show's ending. Yeah. Okay.
Well, she is Australian. The running naked through the street and arguing could have been just as likely.
Just another day in Australia. I don't know. I probably should not make kind of poke fun at Australians given where they live with all the killer spiders and kangaroos and whatever else that might kill you. Everything.
Emus.
Emus. Yes, I missed the great emu story. I'll have to go back and find that.
They've developed tactics.
The emus.
Seriously, emus have tactics.
I really have to go find that part of your stream then, because yeah. Okay, so did my take match your take on the whole?
Yep.
Okay. Because as often the case, I saw bits and pieces of it, and it seemed like we were on the same page as far as our reaction, but
and I, like you, am in complete and utter awe of Hank's our journalism. It's just hilarious.
yes, that is a hard one not to steal and just use over and over. I guess he's not wrong. Yeah. Well, yes, wearing his underwear. Yep.
Hang on, was the dude wearing the underwear, or was the burglar only wearing his undies?
I'm hoping it was the burglar wearing the homeowner's underwear. That would make the story so much better. And now we need to know.
Oh, the dude was in his undies. Okay. Because that could have really changed that story.
Yep.
Although, actually, come on. On a scale of 1 to not surprised at all, how surprised would you be to see a headline saying Jose Maria DeCastro breaks into a house dressed in only his underwear to burglar it?
Not surprised. Scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being least surprised, 10 being most surprised. Probably a 0.5. Not surprised at all. But I'm actually occurring to me, I think that's a reference to the Great Lebowski, isn't it?
Was it? Oh, Kelly, you're cruel.
been a long time since I've seen that, but dressed in his mother's undies, yeah. Chilito, stop! Yeah, now I'm
Kelly's
back.
story's getting better though. Have you seen the next message about the weapon?
Use the milk. Ah!
Oh my god!
No, again, I think Carrie's referring to the. I think I was right about my Big Lebowski reference there. Um, that it was either a milk bottle, it was something out of the fridge or out of the kitchen, something that was not much of a weapon. Um, I need to see that movie again.
Hmm.
I haven't. I've There are very few films I've watched more than once, but I think that one would be worth watching again. um, but yeah, the as I was about to say, and I might regret this. I should learn not to say things I think I might regret. Like, I'll get a haircut if I get to 1,000 subscribers.
I
Um,
promise I'm not going to do anything that causes you to have to do another action.
oh no, this is nothing they could force me on because another thing that just irked me to no end if my reaction wasn't obvious was the bit with I'm going to contact his family and I'm going to tell them they come from murder stock. Okay, so does that mean now that your mother is fair game, Chilito? Is that what you're telling the world? Because that's sort of what it sounds like.
What
Um,
gets me though, given the age of humanity, there is not either you or myself or anyone listening to this who can say that they do not descend from a murderer.
right. That that's absolutely correct. Um, in fact, a family member of mine, uh, probably dead now, but she was into sort of tracking my mother's side of the family, and she actually tracked the family name on her mother's side to um, named after a place, and the place had been inhabited basically by some very nasty people who were basically brigands and highwaymen and just a bunch of unpleasant folk who became such a problem to the area that the army came in, or the locals raised an army and they chased them out. So they chased my ancestors out of where they had been and where the name comes from, south, and where they ultimately then end up settling, and then they started causing trouble there, and was part of one of the few uprising against the Danish crown, and it failed, so they had to run again. so, so yes, I can say for a fact that I do descend from killers.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've got pirates in my ancestry.
yeah,
Genuine, bona fide pirates.
yeah, yeah. So, but uh, I don't know what Carrie was trying to do. Bugger, ignore that. Link didn't fit.
It won't let you put a link unless you're a channel mod.
Oh,
YouTube won't
well,
let you.
oh, I did not know that. Um, but hey, if somebody wants to be a mod, just let me know. I mean, if anyone else wants to ban people, I will let you that power to ban people. No, please don't ban people. I joke about it, but I hope I never come to that point where I got to be banning people.
Uh, you know, with watching his thing earlier, all I could think of was we all know Chili's incapable of learning like a normal human being. But there's this great TV show that sadly they only did 3 seasons of. And it was just brilliant. And it's called The Newsroom. One of Aaron Sorkin's
Oh yeah.
things that he did after the West Wing.
Yes. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
amazingly well written, well acted, brilliant. And it's literally about journalists.
Hmm.
You'd think he'd be able to watch that and just get some idea of how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. yeah, I have been joking around about, and well, you've seen me in your side chat, all caps. You are not a journalist, and I was partly being funny, but this stream today was, oh, holy crap, this is just
Wait, what the heck? Kerry, move. All I'm going to say is move. You need to move.
Now I'm wondering whether he beat them with it or whether he just played it and it was like a Piper of Hamlin kind of thing, where he just got them to follow him down the road while playing the didgeridoo, didgeridoo, didgeridoo,
Didgeridoo.
didgeridoo. You would get there eventually. Um, I'm assuming he beat them with it, but I like my other version actually as well.
Yeah.
Have to do a. I'll have to write something up for some role playing game somewhere about the magic didgeridoo of enchantment or something. It's
Also, is it me or do most crimes in Australia seem to happen while you're in your undies?
well, Carrie just explained that one to us. I think it's too hot here to wear clothes.
Yeah, but I was just thinking a great way of making sure you're never involved in a crime in Australia: wear clothes.
Yeah. uh, might look suspicious to the police, but no, maybe not. They might not even notice you because it's such an unusual thing. They won't register on their radar that they won't even take you for somebody. And I have where I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of babbling at this point.
But you were right with what you were saying about journalism. For any of us to consider what we do journalism is a giant stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, and the it is again, it's the editor in me, the one time, long time ago journalist in me. But if you're gonna call yourself a journalist, as opposed to a columnist or just a commentator, you need to separate your opinions and absolutely non-fact based blather reporting.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Steve. Hank's in the chat again. And every time he says it, I hear it in my voice, in my head.
Let's do one. Oh, yep, there he is. Yep. And like I mentioned before, it was very hard. I had to resist not stealing that. But yeah, and just his constant. That's bullshit. That's murder. No, you don't know. You can't say that. Don't pretend like you have facts if you're calling it. And you're not a journalist. And I'll keep repeating that because it just annoys the hell out of me. But nothing we do on YouTube here. Well, nothing I do certainly, and
Oh, definitely nothing I do. I
no offense
refer
to
to
you guys.
myself as just a jackass on the internet.
Yeah, I was saying no offense to you guys, with News Network in the title of your channel, but I'm sorry, you guys, you're commentators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I take the view if Fox News can call themselves news, so can I.
Oh yes, certainly. Um,
And yes,
and
that is why I put news in there. It was just a dig at these idiots who call themselves news reporters.
yeah, well, and it, yeah, thing is, maybe now that I'm seeing more of Chile being a quote journalist, I always assumed that the auditors, the first minute auditor types at News Now Houston or News Now Denver, whatever news, in their channel titles, that they were being ironic or sarcastic in the
Yeah, no.
describing themselves. But now I'm starting to wonder that they are taking themselves seriously.
Yeah. They think
Uh,
it adds credibility to them.
yeah,
But this wasn't actually the channel name I was going to have, but YouTube wouldn't let me have the one I wanted.
Oh, do tell.
My original channel name idea was Are You Fucking Stupid?
Yeah, I suppose they would have nixed that.
They did.
Uh,
I also just wanted to see people try and quote me.
Okay. Okay, I think you win the stream today.
No, but I'm really pleased to see not only did you get the 1,000 subscribers, but your viewing numbers have gone up as well. People are
Yeah,
actually watching.
yeah, and then going back and watching the old thing. That's another reason why. I mean, there are two reasons for my chili stream tonight. One was he just annoyed the living hell out of me, and the second was, well, if people are watching the old Chilito stuff, maybe I need to do another bit about him because it's been a while. And so I kind of married those two. Oh, and these came today, just in case anybody wants to.
Oh no. Don't forget your pinky. Oh, he's got it mastered.
I am a journalism. So are they me? What's up,
I'm not sure
Playboys?
they're you, but yeah, they'll work.
What's up, Playboys? Playboys? Of course, I can't
Now
see
all
it.
you got to do now is work on your yeet yeet.
Yeah, yes. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Yeah, I can't see a thing wearing these. And oh, they're there. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, they came today. Yeah. So along with another mystery package, so I'll have to do another unboxing stream. Although I know what's in this, I think, but this is a Kickstarter that closed Friday, and I already have the stuff today, which is unbelievable. But
Hey, that's quick.
I know that's why I'm wondering if it's something else. But
So are you looking forward to your trip to the hairdressers?
no, no, I am not. And before somebody asks, no, there is not going to be any bright colors.
What I want to know is after you see yourself in the mirror when you've had your haircut, how long is it going to be before you actually talk to me again, other than to say the words, you bastard?
Before, when this happened, and IDQ was saying that I reach 1,000 subscribers in March of 2025. I think that's now going to be the next time I'll talk to you, probably March of 2025.
But Witch is also not going to be talking to me.
Well, she just has to wear a sweatshirt around.
Yeah, of the team that just beat her team in the Super Bowl, she has to wear that for a week and appear in public every day.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, every time I left my office today, which was only twice, just one of those days, the score was tied at 14-14. Then I think it was 34-34 because people else from the building were watching the game. And but so the Chiefs won? No, the Chiefs lost.
Yeah, the Chiefs won.
Oh, the Chiefs
beat the
won.
Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
And she's a big Eagles fan.
Quick look at these streams. Only get better. Oh, the ads that he does, yeah.
Yeah, she did have the option that she had to publicly agree with everything Chili said for a week.
Oh, I think not only would that get her probably institutionalized, um, but I think she would, at the end of that week, she would have no self-respect left.
Well, Witch doesn't have a lot of impulse control, so it could have been very interesting for that week.
When my hair comes back, it will be the color when I lost it, which is blue. Yeah. Well, unless it
Yeah,
was sort
blue
of,
hair's cool.
yeah. Well, mine will probably be the same white slash gray slash whatever color it is.
Well, blend in with Chili's a lot more that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm having a really hard time picturing what this is going to look like, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to follow through on that thought.
No, I do not. But a deal's a deal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I get going to the shop, she'll go, "Are you sure you want this?" No, I don't want it, but I need it.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting conversation with your barber explaining this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially, I think I mentioned. Yeah, I mentioned it's basically because of where it's located. You got a lot of police officers and other and firemen and people going into that.
Oh no.
I tell her, look, I need it to be as a short professional, but I don't want a cop haircut. Now I'm going in there and I'm saying, give me that cop haircut. Um, which is an irony of the way Chili wears his hair. A lot of the a huge number actually, of police officers I know, they have haircuts like that. Not like his current one, but the one that he had when it was more buckwheat like. Not
Yeah.
the put a bowl on his head and cut it. But yeah, with me, the problem is he has a little more hair on his forehead than I do, and so you cut that off, and it's going to look like I'm just like a reverse monk or something.
But you could try using the Chili technique of securing that haircut.
Which
Just
is,
go in there and insult the hell out of the barber whilst they're cutting your hair.
yeah,
Because I'm convinced that's what happened. He went in there for his ordinary haircut, but he insulted the barber while they were doing it, and it was just like, yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, I forgot. I did this out of order. We first had him going yeet 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 yeet.
No, you're going to make him appear.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't make Dr. Yeetus Cletus make an appearance with all those yeet yeets. Well, we'll see. I mean, since I yeah. Um, maybe I'll get another fan letter. Probably won't,
Yeah, probably.
but it'll make my day. I'll post it again if I do.
Oh, he'll probably be complaining how you've made all the subs that you've got off the back of his work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess for once he could actually would be a legitimate claim because it was, I'm stealing his signature look. Although I have even if with the mustache, I have more of a lip than he does, upper lip than he does. So if your barber is black, make sure. Everyone at that shop, with one exception, are Asian of some stripe. I don't know exactly what.
Well, work just as well if you replace black with Asian.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
what he seems to do whenever he sees a black person is to tell them that they're black and explain to them what it's like to be black in America.
yeah. I had to give up very early on that his encounter with that one sheriff's deputy, where he apparently
Oh, the
was like,
one in the police station.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that one was bad.
yeah, yeah.
Not only does he point out to him he's black and that all black people look the same, but then tries creepily hitting on him. It's bad.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So he first hits him with the racism and then tries to creep on him. It's just like, whoa.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm both glad and disappointed that I bailed on that one early. But this has once again been a lot of fun. I always appreciate it when you come by. One day I'll have to invite Hank up too, just because. But yeah, I should
Oh,
wrap this up.
Hank's awesome.
Oh, that he is. I You guys are a lot of fun to watch. Well, I mostly listen, but um, either way, it's fun.
And Hank has a unique claim to fame. He's
Oh
the
yeah.
only person who's managed to break every single panel member, including himself, with the same joke. But none of us could actually speak.
Uh-oh. He is don't he's tempting fate here. And if man, I'm gonna have to pick this up some other night because I really do have to wrap it up or I will hate myself in the morning. Um,
Hey, just think, soon you won't have that excuse because you'll always hate yourself in the morning because you'll look in the mirror and go, what the hell did I do?
Let's make that June 2025, shall we?
It's not my fault. You said it without any help from me. I just ran with what you said.
Yep, and I had not. Yeah, never would have believed it. I did not believe it, in fact, when you were saying that it was possible. Not only was it possible, but let me see. The last time I looked, yeah, I had like 320 something when and it was 362 right now. So it's more than 1,000 subscribers since uh, I made that infamous statement, and you promised that I'd get 1,000. So not only did I get over 1,000, but basically 1,000 people came in. So yeah, I'm getting a really bad haircut.
You should never underestimate the arsehole-ish nature of my audience.
But yes, I'll be repeating to myself. It grows back. It grows back.
You hope. You hope.
Oh God, please, yes, please grow back. The frontier gynecologist here. Man, if I didn't have to go, we would need to have an appearance by Yeetus Deletus. Um, maybe next time, hopefully, because I think Yeetus Deletus should like do a tour of all the channels. But anyhow,
Oh
thanks
God,
again.
don't give him ideas.
Well, Yeetus Deletus would be welcome to make an appearance here. Just not right now, because plus I feel my voice starting to go out too. Because I figured this would be half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and it's been a lot longer than that. But
Hour 49?
yeah, something like that. But yeah, Carrie, good night. Thanks for coming out, and I really appreciate it. And thanks to Dan again for coming up and letting me know that no, I'm not crazy. That seems like my take on that stream was pretty much the sane person's take. And I will see you guys next time. And I should probably
See you next time.
let you go. There you go. And thanks again, everybody. Have a good night, a good day, because you're all around the world. And I'm going to click the button and I'll be out of here.